Want my suit? Want my suit? And how gangster or what is this gangster, man? Check this shit. I bought this in Hollywood, hey? Man, you're trying to do fucking up. Oh, arms ain't fucking fit. I went to Hollywood, right? And who's been there? Hey. And you go to Hollywood Boulevard to go there. All the lookalikes are, you take photos and shit. You go to this Hollywood Boulevard, right? You go there, and I've seen it on TV, right? The people all dress up like characters from the TV and movies and lookalikes and shit. And they go and take photos and shit. And I thought they worked for the council, right? They're just homeless people dress up like superheroes, right? And they take photos and they get money off you, and I didn't know that. And I saw Superman, I went up to Superman, I put my arm around Superman and put a photo, and he goes, how about a tip? I go, I didn't know, right? I go, alright, I'll give you a tip, Superman. You should get a fucking wheelchair, right? Breathe through your neck, you make fucking heaps of money. Man, these lookalikes are such a fucking scam, right? They don't even look like the people they're trying to look like, right? I saw a black Johnny Depp. Fucking Johnny Depp was white last time I saw, right? This guy just bought a pirate hat, right, and just walked around and got money like that. I'm thinking, oh, fucking, I can do that. If I get broke, I'll go buy a pirate hat, right, and go out there, and instead of being the pirate of the Caribbean, I can be the pirate of the Philippines. A DVD pirate. DVD pirate. And there was this black guy sitting in a wheelchair outside the backpack where I was staying, right? The dodgiest backpacker in the world, right? Hollywood. And he's sitting out there every day, right? Girls would walk past and he'd go, damn, that's a big butt, right? I go, look at you, you're a funny cunt, man. But every time I walk past, he'd go, what up, dog? And I go, man, I've been walking past here a week, and every day you call me a dog. That's not very nice, you know? Why do you do that? And he goes, because you are what you eat, motherfucker! Shazam! Fucking got me, motherfucker! You know Tom Cruise, right? You know Tom Cruise? The best actor in the world, right? Tom Cruise, right? Because he does a movie, he's a Nazi, and people believe it. Oh, fuck, he's a Nazi, right? And he does a movie, and people believed he was Japanese. Remember that movie? The Last Samurai? Unbelievable. Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai. That's like me putting out a movie called Hung Lee, The Last Dancer. Really? Tom Cruise does a movie a whole bunch of Asians, and he wasn't the tallest one. Kill Bill, everyone say Kill Bill? Mate, more Asians died in Kill Bill than the tsunami. They should have seen Uma Thurman to Iraq, the war would be finished by now. Because like in Hollywood movies, right, you watch all these Hollywood movies now, you get like white people kicking the shit out of Asian people with Kung Fu. And like Keanu Reeves on The Matrix kicks the shit out of this Chinaman with Kung Fu. Right? Buffy knows Kung Fu. I'm watching this shit and I'm thinking, you know who started all this? David Carradine. You remember that? Remember David Carradine? For all the young people out there who don't remember, right? Here's a history lesson. In 1973, there's a show on TV called Kung Fu, right? And it was about Kung Fu, right? David Carradine and Bruce Lee auditioned for the same gig. And David Carradine got the gig because, you know, Carradine's such a good Chinese name and everything, right? So how it goes is that it's a Shaolin monk, okay? So at the end of every show, his last test to become a Shaolin monk is like he's got this boiling cauldron. You know what a cauldron is? It's a big pot with coal in it, right? It's got this boiling cauldron, right? It's got a dragon on one side and a tiger on the other side. And he has to pick it up and it burns into his forearms and he becomes a Shaolin monk, right? And I'm watching this and I'm going, man, I want to become a Shaolin monk, you know? I don't even have a boiling cauldron. So I cranked up my mum's rice cooker. So now I've got Kendall and made in Korea. I came to this country in 1975, right? We were the very first Vietnamese boat people in this country, right? And so we got here, and the government didn't know what to do with us, right? So the immigration department decided to help us out, decided to give us an interpreter, a translator to help us get our bank books and get our life together and shit. You know how close I came to an English-speaking Vietnamese guy in Australia in 1975? They gave us a guy from Malta. Shit, right? That's all, yeah, Maltese, Vietnamese, fucking close enough, right? And we didn't know what to eat when we came to this country, right? 1975, there's no such thing as Chinese grocery shops. And so me and my mum went to the supermarket, okay? And we'd never been in a supermarket before. My mum came back from the supermarket the first day with a box of cornflakes, right? So the whole family was sat around the dinner table going, what the fuck? Trying to work it out because, we couldn't read it because, it wasn't in Maltese. And it's got a fucking chicken on it. True. Cornflakes got a fucking chicken on it, right? And so my mum works it out, right? She's very smart, my mum. She works it out. She goes, okay. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. I get a piece of bread. I'll put some margarine on it. I put some cornflake on it. Some soy sauce. And send us off to school. Mate, the wogs are laughing at us. My dad ate cornflake sandwiches for 15 years. He had no idea, right? We didn't have the heart to tell him, right? So after 15 years, I told him, I sat him down, I said, Dad, listen, with cornflakes, you have to put it in the bowl and put Fanta in it and shit, right? So you know what we had to eat? Italian food. And I don't mind Italian food, your pizzas and your pasta and shit like that. There's one thing about Italian food that Asian people don't understand, and that's risotto. You know risotto? You know risotto, right? What is that mush? You know what my mum reckons? Risotto's Italian, my whole fuck up the rice. Shit, right? Man, you guys are going to have a great night tonight, because you guys have been so good, right? Everybody gets to go home with a copy of my book. Fucking no one gives a fuck. Fucking Aussies don't give a shit, man. Fucking what's the catch? Read it? If Oprah gave away my book, everyone fucking think the whole world's collapsing. Everyone gets to go home with a copy of my book. For $10.